Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are heading to Ormesby Hall in Middlesbrough, a National Trust property that combines elegant Georgian architecture, compact but charming gardens, and an estate that feels like a peaceful retreat from the busier parts of Teesside. Ormesby Hall is often described as a hidden gem. It doesn't shout for attention in the way some of the larger grand stately homes do, but it has a quiet confidence. It's approachable, easy to visit, has a homely feel that reflects its history as a lived-in family house rather than a museum piece frozen in time. As you approach Ormesby Hall, it's striking how quickly the setting changes. Middlesbrough is known for its industrial past and present, yet here, just a few miles from the city centre, you're stepping into a world of parkland, historic buildings and tranquility. The long drive gives you glimpses of trees and open space before the hall itself comes into view. A handsome red brick Georgian house, symmetrical in design, with sash windows and a slate roof that speaks of mid-18th century confidence. Parking is straightforward, with a visitor car park set away from the house. From there's a short walk to the National Trust reception point, where friendly volunteers usually greet you. Already there's a sense of calm and peace, with the lawns and gardens stretching out in front of the hall. The story of Ormesby Hall is closely tied to the Penniman family, who owned the estate for centuries. The house you see today was built in the 1740s, at a time when Middlesbrough was little more than a rural settlement. The Pennimans were landed gentry, part of the fabric of North Yorkshire society, and Ormesby became their seat. The hall stayed in the family for generations, and over time it saw changes that reflected the ups and downs of both the estate and the region. Industrialisation transformed Teesside in the 19th century, and while factories and ironworks grew around the town, Ormesby Hall remained a pocket of countryside and tradition. One of the last Pennimans to live here, Colonel Jim Pennyman and his wife Ruth, were notable for involvement in the arts. In the 1930s, they were great supporters of local theatre and community projects. The hall became something of a cultural hub, with performances and artistic gatherings taking place alongside the rhythm of estate life. During the Second World War, like many country houses, Ormesby played its part. Parts of the estate were used for training. The hall itself hosted groups connected to the war effort. These layers of history give the property a character that is more personal and approachable than the grandeur of larger estates. Stepping into the entrance hall, the atmosphere is immediately welcoming. It's not a vast, intimidating space, but rather a balanced Georgian interior with clean lines and polished floors. Portraits of the Penniman family hang on the walls, giving faces and names that shape the estate's history. From here, the visitor's route usually leads through the drawing rooms, which are set out with elegant furniture, period pieces, and decorative details. The light streams through tall windows, reflecting off mirrors and polished wood. It's easy to imagine the family entertaining guests here with conversations flowing over tea, or perhaps music being played on the piano in the corner of the room. The dining room is a highlight. The table is often laid, silverware catching the light, and glassware arranged neatly, as if the family were about to sit down for a formal meal. Paintings of the ancestors look down from the walls, with the overall impression is one of continuity. A family proud of heritage and maintaining traditions throughout the centuries. Upstairs, several bedrooms are dressed to show how the Pennimans and their guests might have lived. Four-poster beds, dressing tables, and a writing desk evoke the rhythms of daily life. In some rooms you'll find exhibitions or displays that change from season to season, highlighting different aspects of the family story. The present displays of photography. The servants' area provide a contrast. Here the rooms are plain and more practical, with evidence of a working household that kept everything running smoothly. These areas remind us that every grand family was a team of staff, often living very different lives within the same walls. What makes Ormesby Hall particularly engaging is it feels like a real home. Unlike some other properties where rooms are topped off and roped off and feel distance, you can get a sense of intimacy. The creak of a floorboard, the softness of the carpets, the slightly worn look of the furniture that has actually been used. It's a lived-in quality that makes the hall more memorable. The National Trust often uses Ormesby Hall for exhibitions, which add depth to a visit. These can cover a wide range of topics: the Penniman's involvement in local arts, the impacts of the world wars on the estate, or broader themes about the changing roles that these houses played in the 10th century. In the past, exhibitions have drawn on photographed letters and personal belongings, which help to humanise the story. Rather than just dates and names, there's a glimpse of the personalities, a theatre programme here, and a diary entry there. Reminders of these were people with passions, challenges and quirks. Outside the gardens of Ormesby are compact but carefully maintained. Immediately around the house are formal lawns edged with flower borders, where seasonal planting provides colour. In spring, bulbs bring splashes of yellow and purple, while summer sees herbaceous borders filled with vibrant blooms. Winter adds warmth with reds and golds from the surrounding trees. Paths wind through the gardens, encouraging slow exploration. Benches are thoughtfully placed, making it easy to pause and soak up the atmosphere. The gardens aren't vast, but their intimacy matches the house perfectly. You're never overwhelmed. There's always something to catch the eye: a neatly clipped hedge, a climbing rose, or a view back towards the house framed by greenery. Beyond the formal gardens, Ormesby Hall leads into the surrounding parkland and woodland that gives it a more expansive feel. Trails lead through meadows and trees, offering opportunities for longer walks. Bird song fills the air. If you're lucky, you might spot wildlife such as rabbits or squirrels darting across the paths. These walks are particularly enjoyable in the early morning or late afternoon, when the light slants through the trees and the hall itself can be glimpsed across the fields. The estate was once at the centre of a working farm, and while today it is managed for conservation and leisure, there are still traces of agricultural history, which you can see throughout the fields and hedgerows. For families with children and visitors with dogs, the estate provides plenty of space, knowing that stretched legs but to burn up energy. It's a reminder that the National Trust looks not only just buildings, but landscapes, and this gives them context. Ormesby Hall has a reputation for being especially welcoming to families. Children can take part in trails, activity sheets, and seasonal events such as Easter egg hunts or Halloween activities. The manageable scale of the site means it's not overwhelming for younger visitors, and parents can relax knowing there's space to run around safely. In summer months, lawn games are sometimes put out in the gardens, adding to the atmosphere. And for those with pushchairs, the site is relatively easy to navigate, with level paths and gardens. Facilities at Ormesby Hall are what you would expect from the National Trust. The cafe located in the old stable block or outbuildings serves tea, coffee, cakes and light lunches. On a fine day, outdoor seating in the courtyard creates a lovely setting with historic stone walls and the hum of conversation around you. There's also a second-hand bookshop, although there is no shop at this property. Toilets are clean and accessible. The staff are always on hand to help. Accessibility is taken seriously, and there are many volunteers throughout the house. The upper floors can be more challenging for wheelchair users. Volunteers provide guidance, and there's usually information boards or digital displays to help bridge any gaps. One of the strengths of Ormesby is how it connects the local community. Events throughout the year draw people back, whether it's seasonal fairs, outdoor theatre performances, or family-orientated activities. Volunteers are central to the running of the property, and many come from the surrounding area. Their knowledge and enthusiasm adds to the experience, and chatting with them often brings an extra layer of information you won't find on display boards. For those interested in heritage, conservation or gardening, volunteering at Ormesby Hall is a rewarding way to get involved. The hall is small enough that volunteers really do make a noticeable difference, whether it's welcoming visitors, maintaining gardens or supporting events. What really stands out at Ormesby Hall is its atmosphere. It doesn't try to compete with vast stately homes or sprawling gardens. Instead, it offers something more personal. You can come away feeling you've stepped into someone else's home, absorbed by their story, and enjoying a pocket of tranquility that's surprisingly close to an urban centre. For visitors who may not want to spend a full day out, Ormesby is ideal. In 2 or 3 hours you can comfortably see the house, explore the gardens and enjoy the cafe, or even take a short walk in the parkland. If you want to linger, bring a picnic or join an event, it can stretch into a longer day. The property has a charm that's difficult to pin down, but it's easy to feel. It's in the details. The soft creak of the floorboards, the laughter of children playing outside, the scent of flowers on a warm day. These small things create a memory that lingers long after you've left. Ormesby Hall is managed by the National Trust, so entry is free for members, while non-members pay an admission charge. Opening times vary by season, and the house is sometimes closed during the winter months, while the gardens and estate remain open. The location is convenient. It's just a short drive from Middlesbrough town centre and signposted from main routes. It's easy to combine a visit with other attractions in Teesside, or treat it as a stop onto a longer journey through North Yorkshire. Does Ormesby Hall measure up? The highlights are the lived-in Georgian interior, the intimacy of the gardens, the family-friendly atmosphere, the surrounding parklands. It's best for families, local residents, history enthusiasts, or anyone looking for a relaxing half-day. Value as part of the National Trust membership is excellent. For non-members, the price reflects the scale of the site, and most visitors will feel its value for money. Top tip: check the events calendar before visiting. Outdoor theatre, craft fairs and seasonal activities can add an extra dimension to your trip. That brings us to the end of this review of Ormesby Hall in Middlesbrough. It may not be the largest or the most famous National Trust property, but in many ways that's its strength. It offers a sense of intimacy, of stepping into a real family story, and of finding calm in the midst of a busy area. If you're nearby, it's well worth adding to your list. If you're already a National Trust member, it's an easy, enjoyable visit that reminds you why places like this are preserved and shared. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this walk-in review, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Join me for more exploration of parks, gardens and heritage sites throughout the UK. Thank you for watching, and I'll leave you to enjoy the remaining footage.
So that's the